I want to do a quick trade review of a trade that I took last night and how it went. So to start, I throughout all of this, I had been, I think, as we remember, I had been reasonably bullish because this is part of the big mistake that leads us to losing this trade. Spoiler alert: we lose the trade. Um, I had kind of seen this like this was looking like maybe we wanted to keep pushing up higher. Then we had this like little stall here that led to this dump here. And that's when I was thinking, maybe the tides could be turning. We possibly could be like falling over. Then we had this pump to a higher high, and it was a little bit confusing. But after all of that, um, once once this continued like this, I wasn't so convinced anymore that we were going to go up to 42K or 41 and a half. Kind of once this one kind of happened here, we got this dump, we got this pump, like, and even though this pump made me feel like maybe we're gonna go up, like the follow through, I didn't care for the follow through. I thought the follow through was very weak, and then we kind of kept hitting this wall right here, and then we got this dump here. That's when I was really like, okay, yeah, it's time. I'm wanting to short. And I was wanting to catch a short to the downside, and I waited on these 4 hour. Uh, we had this bar that came down. This was kind of the signal bar, but it closed up so high that I was like, I'm not going to take a short just yet. And I waited, and this bar closed really nasty, right? And this was kind of the bar to me that was like, okay, this is a go. So you should short underneath this bar 39.5. And then we put in this. I was patient enough to wait for this bar to get put in. This was a really nice small bar here. um, Really nice small bar here um, that kind of gave me the go to short. And but because it closed green, I thought to start this next hour or this next 4 hour candle, maybe we'll push up a little bit. I'll wait for a little bit like that, and then we'll dump. And I kind of like left the computer for a little bit, and it all happened very quickly. Um, yeah, this was kind of like on this 1 hour chart. I didn't really like these four consecutive bull candles, little channel, right? But I was like, yeah, surely we'll get, surely we should get some sort of decent signal. And on the lower time frames, like it was just channel, channel, channel like this. So anyway, I missed this. I missed this bar, the signal bar. And I was watching these like kind of weird dojis going on here, kind of outside, whatever junk, and then taking a new high, and then it closed like this, and then we got this bar. I missed this, so of course I also missed this. So it's pretty hot, and I was like, okay, let's still try and make some sort of money. I didn't take this, but I thought, okay, we'll wait for a pullback and I'll take it. So this ends up being the candle that I enter on this 5 minute bar, 55, which also is kind of a mistake because I was watching it on the 1 minute chart, and on the 1 minute chart, I saw this one leg down, this second leg down, and then this like climactic bar followed by this really strong big up inside bar and this strong up inside bar. And I was like, I don't really know about this. This kind of looks like it might be done. In fact, it was done. That was the lowest that we got to ever before running it back up to 40K. But nevertheless, I put in an order here at 38, 894 to short, like right around here. Um, this is not the exchange that I traded on, obviously. And that filled. So 2/3 of the ultimate position filled here. The remaining third of the position I filled over here at 38, like 980 or something like that. And I kind of figured that as long as we stay underneath this level, the trade should probably be decent. And because we had this 1 minute chart over here, I put my stop like up here, like 39, 135 or so. And as you can see, it never ends up getting tapped. Even this pump happened and my stop did not get hit. But anyway, um, first of all, what time frame did we take this chart or did we take this trade on? That's a very good question. I think the answer is the 15, and possibly I had a little bit of confluence on the hour. But the fact that I can't explain this to you so quickly and effortlessly is also a problem, right? That's not something that should have happened. Um, So let me move this away. It's right before 1 a.m. By the way, the 4-hour chart that closes at 1 a.m. Is this one. And this is is much different than this. This time we only had like a little bit down to the downside. This time we had quite a large wick to the downside on that 1-hour chart. This bar is much different than that small bar that we had on the 4-hour. This 4-hour small bar is like, yeah, please short me. But on this 1-hour, this is a lot of buying pressure. So this is not really the best bar to be shorting. That being said, we pushed up, and then we got this low one signal that kind of did not trigger. Did it trigger here? Yeah, it looked a lot nicer on this one, right? This subsequent bar, but it um, still technically took out the high without taking out the bottom. It kind of looks like an outside down bar, and so that's why I kind of felt more confident. But as you can see, I'm already in this trade. This closes an hour after I enter the trade, so this is just a little bit of cope, but not necessarily the right thing, right? Um, on this bar, this is where you should be knowing that, like, yeah, this is not going to happen, because on on these lower time frames, you really have this channel here. And this is something that I kind of ignored. Um, I was kind of ignoring this channel, like, that extends all the way out here, as you can see, right? But for me, at the time, it was just to, like, this is the bar that I'm entering on, thereabouts. So we just have this channel, and it is kind of a channel, and there is like bullish pressure in it. Like we're channeling upwards, right? And we do happen to get this nice break out of the channel, then this bar, and then this follow through. And this was kind of the setup for me on the 15-minute chart, was kind of inside bar on this one, on what looks like the market wants to possibly turn. Um, so anyway, I entered the position. I put my take profit levels, one at here, 1/3 here, 1/3 here, and then the remaining third I said, let's see if we can get a little bit lower, and I'll put that last one like here or so. So the majority of the position gets taken out here if we don't take this low, and then if we do take this low, probably reasonable that I might be able to get the remainder filled down here, or if not, maybe I wake up in the morning and can just close somewhere reasonable. Anyway, throughout all of this, the next hour from 1 a.m. to like 2 a.m., 2:30, like I'm just in and out of sleep, to be honest. So this is another mistake. I was like trying to watch the chart on like the 3-minute chart or 5 minute, I don't even remember. And I would like close my eyes, and next thing I know, I open them and we're a couple bars down the line. So that was also not good. Not really managing it that well. Um, excuse me. Excuse me. So this ends up being like we end up not close, and like on this bar, this very bar right here. Um, I'm watching it and thinking, yeah, I might just have to close it as we break above this. I'm saying at 39,050. And obviously, again, this is not the right chart. So maybe on this one, it would have been like 70, 39,070. I'm just going to close it. If we take that level, I'm just going to close it because it will be too high. It will have been higher above the thingy, above the high here. And like, that'll be enough for me to feel like the momentum is still going, this channeling momentum is still going upward. And like, I don't want to really be in it because the channel might, first of all, the channel might extend all the way out here. And second of all, the channel might accelerate a little bit. And like, my stop being here may not be safe. I may have to move the stop up here for it to be safe. And I don't really want to move the stop up here because it doesn't make sense from a levels perspective. I'd rather move the stop all the way up here. But I definitely, as we can see, like definitely don't want to move the stop all the way up here in case, it's going to continue to be bullish like this. So basically, I liked the stop placement. Could have made it tighter, I suppose. Especially because at this is the point where we probably should be out of the trade. And interestingly enough, I'm awake during this point. I wake up and I witness this. So let's take a look here. Um, on this 15-minute chart, I'm actually going to delete this because this is annoying the Jesus out of me. Every time I see it, I think it possibly is the right one. Okay, so we kind of enter on The tail end of this candle, as we're closing up here, this bar comes through, which is horrible. This is not the bar that we want to see, but instead of closing the trade prematurely, I decided to give it a little bit of room, which I think is a good idea. And I add a little more, which I also think is a very good idea, because we get this nice bar and it creates this bar, right? Small bar here, inside bar here, and then we break down. Then the problem was not so much of a problem, but this bar didn't have any follow through. This 38,800 is like 4 TIFI'd, right? This bar didn't really break through. This next bar didn't really break through. It looked like it had a decent push, possible to push down because this is a red bar, and it would be great to have a follow through. And this is where I saw this bar, and I was like, I think I woke up or whatever at like 2:40 or at 2:29, I think, and I was like, oh yeah, this is looking interesting. Like maybe if we break down below this, like we're going to take my levels, right? We're gonna hit my take profits almost certainly. But I also recognize that these were kind of these two small bars that at this point is kind of in a near the bottom of a range here. Like certainly this range here that we've had with this 800, and like I said, I didn't recognize these wicks in relation to this one, so that was bad. I should have. I saw them on the lower time frame, as we saw. They looked, yeah, as we see, like one push down strongly brought back, and then we kind of go back again, and we can't take out the low, and then we have another strong reversal bar here. This would have been a good one to take a trade against. But then we kind of have this chill in here. And by the time we get to here, I'm not looking at this on the 1 minute chart, but I am looking at it on the 15-minute chart. And exactly what I thought to happen kind of ends up happening. I kind of thought if we break above this, we're probably going to go to the upside. And I'm not going to be a fan of being in this trade any longer. And that's exactly what happens. As soon as 230 hits, I think we saw it on that 1 minute chart too. As soon as 230 hits, we bust through the roof here. My entry price is 39,024 or something. Or no. 38,924 is the price. 38,924, and this candle closes at mid 38.8. So within a minute, we go from being up like a little bit to being a little bit underwater, and I was like, no, this is not good. But I was like trying to go to bed. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna leave my levels in because maybe we're gonna have something like this and then close down here, and then we're gonna keep going down. Realistically, probably should watch this candle and then watch this candle, because after this candle is all buying, very strong buying. Like you can be pretty much done here, right? And this, if you end up taking a long on this candle and putting the stop like at this level, your stop never gets hit. If you put it underneath here or underneath here, your stop will never get hit, and you're in this trade possibly even till now. So this was a mistake. At some point, it became like, and this was kind of, this channel was always bothering me throughout. Every time I would be a little bit awake and like look at this, I'd be like, yeah, we need to get out of this channel. Like I don't like being in this channel. As long as we're in this channel, there's a high probability that there's the longer that we're in this channel, the higher the probability that I'm not going to make money on this trade. So ultimately the trade only ends up losing me about 0.5%, which is not so bad. But no, the trade, we shouldn't have taken the trade. I think the biggest mistake here is, first of all, we didn't have a good signal setup. Like we had this signal here and kind of decent setup, but when we were looking at it on the 1 minute chart on the lower time frames, I wasn't wanting to take it. I didn't like this setup here on these low time frames. I didn't like that it looked like 1-2 legs down, possibly to the bottom of a potential channel, and then following like all of this looks quite, not necessarily bullish, but certainly not bearish, and like for such a strong cascading dump, you would think that we should have some sort of follow through in much more quicker time than this. Like I think kind of at the end of this is kind of time wise lets like it's probably not going to happen. Like if it's not happening by like here, right? It's probably not going to happen. And even like when you're at this point, you're feeling like if it's not going to happen like before here or something like that, it's probably not going to be a good one. So yeah, this ends up being the level like kind of what my instincts were at 230 was of if we break above this level, like it's probably should be done. I probably should have just closed it. I didn't want to close a loss at that time, and I didn't want to stay awake to see if I could get back into a little bit of profit, like down here or something like that to take a close. And certainly, if I had stayed awake and we got back down to this level, I would have thought, yeah, it's fine. We're gonna keep going down. We're gonna get to close my trade in profit. So that was a mistake. And yeah, I ended up losing the trade. I think we close out here, yeah, at 530. Oh, funny, I just moved this uh, over here randomly. But yeah, this is the candle that I ended up closing, getting stopped out on. Um, yeah, and if I had been awake for all of this, I probably could have maybe gotten long, or at the very least, I would have closed my short somewhere else. But yeah, that's all. You live and you learn.